first take. Oh my God, look at the crowd, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's growing, it's swelling as the morning continues. Thank you for joining us and still being here with us. Our guest is Dan Rafael. He's been here for more than a decade. Your ESPN boxing writer, aficionado. We gave actually Teddy Atlas the Oracle title yesterday, so I can't give that. Are you sure?
You can have it.
Okay, all right. So listen, you've been covering Manny and Floyd for years.
A long time.
You've been talking about this. We always look to your articles to see what you have to say. You always have really good insight. But let's talk about the fight week here in Vegas. What's your perspective on what you're seeing? How's it all laying out to you?
Fight weeks are great in Vegas, but most of the time they don't really get rolling until Wednesday at earliest, maybe Thursday. By Friday, everybody rolls in for the weigh-in. You know you've been. And then it gets crazy. For this fight, it goes slowly, and it becomes like a bonfire by Friday, Saturday. This week it was like a bonfire on Tuesday when I got here. It was already incredible intensity. Just walking around the casino, the signage, all the fans that were here, just a lot of excitement in the air. And you could just tell, just stepping into the hotel, that this was going to be a big, big week.
Well, people are saying that it's the greatest sporting event in recent memory. Is that too much hype, or is it probably the most hyped sporting event?
I mean, I don't cover Super Bowls, and I don't go to the Olympics or to the Final Four. I just watch them on TV like everybody else. But I go to all the big fights. And this is, to me, the biggest fight that I've covered. I've been at ESPN 10 years. I've been on the boxing beat for a little over 15 years. I've covered lots of Mayweather and Pacquiao fights. I covered a lot of Oscar De La Hoya fights, Mike Tyson, Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Bernard Hopkins. I mean, all the guys over those period of time. This is the biggest fight that I'm covering.
Wow. Okay, so then you made your pick, Mayweather. Make your case, kind sir.
Listen, first of all, I haven't picked against Floyd since 2001 when he fought Diego Corrales. I thought Diego was going to beat Floyd. He was on an unbelievable knockout streak and just looking incredible. I learned my lesson that night. Floyd Mayweather dropped him 5 times right here at the MGM Grand, and I haven't picked against Floyd since. And there's a reason, and it's nothing against Pacquiao. I think Pacquiao is an absolutely tremendous, all-time great fighter, a historical figure in the sport, as is Floyd. But I just like Floyd's ring intelligence. I think he does a lot of things at least a little better than Pacquiao in most categories, perhaps except punching power. But I do think that Floyd is a bit of an underrated puncher. He is a finisher when he gets you hurt, but he's so within himself and doesn't need to go for that and leave himself open. He just knows every inch of that ring. And I think the combination of his speed and his defense and his ring intelligence and his desire and his confidence that he's never been beaten and he can't be beaten is going to be enough to have his hand raised. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying he runs through Manny Pacquiao in an easy manner or knocks him out in a first or second round or something like that. I just think he's going to do enough to win 7 rounds and get the knock on the at least 2 judges' scorecards.
What is your take on an issue that we've talked a lot about here on the show? Freddie Roach's relentless attack publicly on Floyd Mayweather Jr. What do you read into it?
That's gamesmanship, Skip. You've covered lots of sporting events. Freddie is the guy that speaks on behalf of Pacquiao. I mean, from my point of view as a reporter, Manny's a wonderful guy, but thank God we have Freddie Roach because he fills our notebooks like Pacquiao doesn't. And so Freddie understands promotion of an event, but Freddie also has confidence in his fighters. He's been with Manny since day one, since he came to the United States in 2001. And he knows how to sell the fight also. They Floyd sell his fight on their side, and since Pacquiao is not going to talk trash ever, I've never heard him say a bad word one time in my entire career covering him. And I was at his first fight in America at the MGM in 01. He needs somebody to do it on his behalf, so he understands it. And it's gamesmanship.
He has said that Floyd's just sort of another fighter to him. That's a little trash talk, isn't it?
That is trash talk. I mean, but that's boxing. You need if there was no trash talk, why would you want to watch 2 guys fight if you don't have a reason to check them out?
Just because you've been waiting for 5 or 6 years to watch these 2 fight?
They've done enough trash talking through those 6 years about all the stuff, not so much Manny, but between Freddie and, of course, Mayweather with very harsh things he has said about Pacquiao through the years, where he's attacked him because of his nationality. He's attacked, he made anti-gay statements against him, even though Pacquiao, not gay, but shouldn't be saying those kinds of things anyway.
Well, let me switch gears for a second. First of all, refresh my memory. I do believe that when Floyd Mayweather knocked out Diego Corrales, which was a mega fight at that particular moment in time, because Diego Corrales got arrested, solely passed away. At that time, he was big time. And when Floyd dropped him 5 times, I do believe he was crying that night in the ring when he was getting his butt whipped, right? Because he was so frustrated.
After that fight ended, his stepfather, threw in the towel.
Yes.
And so Diego was extremely upset about that and was sort of emotional, not about losing, I don't think, but so mad at his stepfather for doing that it became sort of a scene in the ring.
Yeah, he looked like he was crying after one of those knockdowns, but that's beside the point. I guess for me, what I ask you now is that in leading up to this fight in the weeks, over the last few weeks, we haven't seen Floyd resemble his typical self in terms of how talkative he usually is. What do you make of that?
I think that when it comes fight week, a lot of times Floyd, during the course of the fight week, a lot of times he shuts things down as far as what he says. So I have noticed any difference. To me, it's been the same. I've yet to see Floyd occasionally, but he comes to a press conference. He's usually low key. He knows it's almost fight time. The promotion is basically done. He knows he's getting that big fat check at the end of the night, and he's done his job. And he spends his press conference time or his time sitting with the press in the private sessions, talking about his family, talking about his children, talking about how he just wants everybody to enjoy the fight.
From what you know of Floyd, how badly does he want to win this particular fight compared to other fights?
No, this is the one. I mean, he has said, he tries to downplay. He says, at one point he said it's another fight, but there have been other times where he says, I've never wanted to win another fight more than this one. Right. And that's the truth. I mean, you can say that maybe he's doing things for show at other times, and I think both fighters, both trainers, both promoters, if they say anything other than this is the biggest fight of our life and we want to win this more than any other fight we've ever been associated with in the history of our careers with these two fighters, they're lying. This is the big one. This is the legacy fight, period. No matter what they think, it's what the public thinks, it's what guys like us think. This is the legacy fight, period.
Your view of Pacquiao's demeanor so far at the two media sessions we've had here in Las Vegas?
Manny is Manny. I mean, he's always loose. Jovial almost. He came into our media session on Tuesday morning. He had done his fan rally and had a good time. A lot of Filipino fans were there. And he came in and he was sort of joking around with a lot of the media. He came in holding a camera. And he sat down in his seat and he pointed out like he was taking pictures of us when usually it's obviously the other way around. So he was loose. He was joking around. He had a great crack. One of the reporters asked him, they're selling a T-shirt among the gazillions of T-shirts they're just selling at the merchandise store, and it's a picture of Floyd Mayweather superimposed over a Filipino flag. And some people took that as being disrespectful to the Filipino people and to their country and to their flag. And so Manny was asked what he thought about that, and he laughed and he said, "Oh, that's fine, that's good. He wants to join our team, TMT." The Manny team.
The Manny team.
So
Dan Rayful, ladies and gentlemen, he calls it the legacy fight. It's been a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much.
Good job.
Very good job. When we come back, it's Gary's Court. We ask the crowd what they think. First take on the road in Vegas for the legacy fight. We'll be back in just a few moments. But Mike Tyson was there, and he was sitting in the back where reporters were, and they asked him if he wanted to move to the front, and he said, "I try to stay as far away from dirt as possible." He was then asked about Mayweather being better than Muhammad Ali. His words, Mayweather's words, he writes, "The guy is going around saying he is better than Ali. I don't want to hear that expletive." When asked about Floyd, he said this, "I was always told by my mother that if you can't say anything nice about someone, don't say nothing." All right, Stephen A. Mike Tyson clearly is not a fan of one Floyd Mayweather, but let's talk about these comments specifically. Inbounds or out of bounds?
Well, they're not out of bounds because it's Mike Tyson. They're not out of bounds because he's the former heavyweight champion of the world and he's earned the right to feel any way he wants about a fellow pugilist. It's not my place to say that about him. And not only that, in defense of Mike Tyson in this regard, there are plenty of people who have befriended Floyd over the years that found themselves having a problem with Floyd later on. 50 Cent was one of them. He'll be on the show tomorrow, even though I don't know what the situation is. I think they've made up, but at one time it wasn't that way. So from what I'm told, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather have had their outs. But I don't know. All I can tell you is this. Mike Tyson, did it seem disrespectful? Sure. Calling Floyd dirt? Obviously disrespectful, because Floyd can turn around and easily say something like that about Mike Tyson, okay? But the flip side to it is that you find a lot of boxers that would be absolutely appalled for anybody saying that they were better than Muhammad Ali, because a lot of fighters, even in this day and age, believe they are where they are today because of the sacrifices Muhammad Ali was willing to make. That could be where this is emanating from. I don't know. I haven't spoken to Tyson about it, but I didn't find it as out of bounds as everybody might perceive it to be.
I'm with you about the Ali remark. When I believe Floyd said it to you in the All Access.
Yes, he did.
I said it wasn't just disrespectful to Muhammad Ali. It was blasphemous, because this man is on the highest pedestal to me in the history of sports. He was the greatest in every way, shape, and form to me. And so when you go to that level of disrespect, it goes into blasphemy, and I get where Tyson would be offended by that. The rest of it, I don't know what their personal beef is, because obviously when Mike Tyson was heavyweight champ, he wasn't exactly a role model himself. So I don't know where the dirt came from.
The other part to it, though, is this. Floyd specifically said on the All Access, he didn't mean any disrespect. He just he refuses to be brainwashed into believing Sugar Ray Robinson or anybody is better than him. So that's how he feels. He doesn't believe he's being disrespectful because he's not saying Ali wasn't great. Yeah. He's just saying, I'm the greatest.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be here tomorrow. Again, our guest will be 50 Cent, as well as Jimmy Fox. Please join us. First Take is on the road in Vegas. We want to thank you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we have some veterans in the audience. Thank you guys so much for coming. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, right here on ESPN2. Have a great day, everyone.